Let me quickly rope you in here first. Himanshu, let's just talk about the women candidates. What's heartening to see is that more parties have fielded women candidates this time around. How do you see this move by them?
Well, I'll not comment much, but you know, what I will say is people used to talk so much about caste politics. People used to talk so much about, MI politics, MY politics, Muslims and Yadavs. People have been talking about that in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar to a great extent. And some of the traditional parties have been relying on that votes. If you see the count, 32, 34%, two put together with RJD. They used to say that is with RJD. And so RJD cannot be defeated. See what happened?
All right, these are live visuals. I just
count,
want to quickly apprise our viewers. The BJP's victory celebrations are beginning at the party headquarters in the national capital. Home Minister Amit Shah has arrived there at the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. You can see a plethora of leaders there, of course, welcoming Mr. Amit Shah, of course, there and congratulating him as well for this win. Amit Shah, the key strategist of this victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party, has reached the BJP office. And of course, also the star face, the biggest campaigner and the most popular campaigner for the BJP, Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, will also be reaching there very, very shortly. You can see there the crowd that has gathered there already, BJP Karyakartas, workers, leaders who are jubilant at this strong showing that the NDA has got. Now you can see Defence Minister Rajnath Singh arriving there as well. Rajnath Singh also arriving for this victory celebrations of the BJP at their headquarters in the national capital. This has been a stupendous showing for the NDA, a landslide victory. BJP has of course done better than last time around. So has the JDU. We've also seen their allies, the LJP, gain a lot. Also RLM and HAM have gained too. We are of course seeing now all eyes on the BJP headquarters in Delhi, where this victory celebrations will be kicking off very, very shortly. You can see there, of course, a plethora of BJP leaders. The Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has also arrived there. Delhi CM Rekha Gupta has also arrived for the BJP celebrations there at their party headquarters. And clearly, the women vote has gone in favor of the BJP as well. We were just talking about women politicians and women. Sumit P, a lot of women have voted overwhelmingly for the BJP, haven't they? And the JDU, might I add.
Uday, thank you for having me on your show. You're right. This time around, we see a lot of women turnout, which has happened. And more women participating in the politics has given a good result. But you see, there are very young faces like Maithili Thakur. She comes with her own repute, her aura, and her, kind of her stature. Now, if you align with the right party, what I was going through your statistics broadly is if you align with the right party, so then your chances of winning are much more. You might be a first time, a person joining the politics, or you might be a popular person, you might not be a popular person. But on the same time, if you are again a very prominent singer or a very prominent woman celebrity also, but if you don't align with the right set of people, then unfortunately people don't see you there. Then your chances of winning really go down. Overall, women participation is good.
No, you're right. And in fact, an example is Maithili Thakur, who's won on a BJP ticket in her first election, and Kesari Lal Yadav, who's lost on an RJD ticket, or rather is trailing and poised to lose.
That is exactly what was, mentioning, Uday, because it also depends on which party are you, which agenda or which mindset are you aligning with. Because if your agenda is development, it is for holistic development of the community and the country, then obviously your chances are better. But if you again want to go into that Jatigat politics and the regional politics, and you want to make those ghettos, you want to have that your own brand of politics, that has not emerged. There's one thing I want to really comment. If you look at two gentlemen here, one is Tej Pratap Yadav. I mean, forget Tej Pratap Yadav. One is Tejasvi Yadav and one is Chirag Paswan. When they were kids, they used to be good buddies and friends. Look, Chirag has made his own brand of politics. Chirag is a tall leader today on his own. His father is no longer there. But Tejasvi stood to his father's brand of politics, wanted to do the same kind of politics which he think will give him dividends after 25, 30 years, but he failed. Today, RJD at 26 and Chirag Paswan at 19. The biggest competitor of Tejasvi Yadav is not JDU or is not BJP. The biggest competitor of Tejasvi Yadav is now Chirag Paswan. And how has Chirag Paswan metamorphosed himself? He's a cabinet minister, he has his own brand of politics, and he has been very, very useful for the NDA. I mean, Nitish Babu is a tall leader, Modi is a tall leader. I mean, but if you look at these two young men who used to be friends in their childhood, but with the ideology you take, the way you take, the things you matter. And I don't want to bring in here, but remember there were parliamentary elections and Mr. Tejasvi Yadav was in a helicopter and he was releasing a videos हम नवरात्रि के दिन मछली खा रहे हैं. Even when you kind of insult Hindu sentiments like that, when you don't care for the sentiments of the people, when you have adverse comments on Chhat Maiya and all that, when that kind of things happen, somewhere down the line, Uday, this is a Hindu-dominated country, and somewhere down the line you face the backlash. And you see Chirag Paswan, completely different brand of politics, and he is phenomenally successful. Now, there's a lot of things to learn. Whatever worked for your father.
Saral Patel, we are seeing the BJP's victory celebrations begin in the national capital. The BJP, of course, crediting Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar for this victory of the NDA in Bihar. It has been not a good day, in fact, a disastrous day for your party and your alliance in Bihar. We're seeing who is being credited for the victory. What about who is to blame for the loss? Will it be the leader of your alliance who was your CM face? Will it be the leader of your party who was your star campaigner Rahul Gandhi? Or will it be your state president? Or will it be other leaders? Or the Congress president himself?
Uday, thank you for having me on your show. And, you would appreciate that I was patiently listening to all the previous panelists speak before me. And I would want that you let me complete my point before you ask a counter question. So, while you were making that announcement of Mr. Amit Shah arriving at the BJP HQ and crediting him as the chief strategist of this victory and so on and so forth, I was, for a moment really looking at the screen and, trying to find Gyanesh Gupta somewhere in the same frame, because he might also turn up at the BJP HQ today. Now, why do I say this? I will just name 5 seats and I would let you and your viewers judge the pattern. There's a seat called Bakhtiarpur, which was held by RJD. And currently, if you look at it, the Chirag Paswanji's party from the NDAs leading in that particular assembly constituency. The victory margin by which they are leading is about 1900 votes. And the votes deleted in the same assembly in the SIR, special intensive rigging or special intensive removal, is 9,000 votes. Let me name one more assembly seat, Baniapur, which BJP is currently leading by about 17,000 votes, which was in last election held by RJD. How many votes have been deleted in SIR in that same assembly constituency? 19,000 votes. Third seat, Belaganj, which has been won by the JDU by about the margin of
Did you flag this
votes.
to the Election Commission?
I'm flagging it on your TV screen.
No,
right
did you
now,
flag it to the Election Commission earlier? Because the
Uday, let the Election Commission release the full result. We will do our due diligence and we'll flag it to the Election Commission.
Now, because we were talking about the women vote,
also.
because we were talking about the women vote, you heard what the previous panelist said on the women factor.
No,
I'm coming back to that. Is that a concern for you? Is that a concern for you that perhaps because of the campaign slogan of Jungle Raj, that women voters have deserted your party and your alliance? Is that a concern for you? That perhaps because of Jungle Raj and many other things, the prohibition as well that Nitish Kumar brought in, the Mahila vote has deserted your party?
Let me make it completely clear that this is the victory of the BJP's Tantra and defeat of the Lok Tantra. Why do I say this? Because
what about the Mahila Tantra? What about the Mahila Tantra? The women vote has deserted you. Is that a concern for you?
question. You are asking me a 4-line question. As soon as I say 2 words, you are asking me a counter question. Please be patient. I will not take more than 4 lines. The same length of the question that you have asked, I will reply in the same length. So you asked about the woman voter. Is it not a fact that 10,000 rupees was transferred directly to the women voters, despite the model code of conduct being in place? There are the EC guidelines against the same. There are Supreme Court guidelines against the same. But despite that, the 10,000 rupees was transferred in the bank accounts of the women voters in the middle of the election. Is that not a fact? So this is not a welfare. This is not a governance. This is the bribery using taxpayer money under the nose of Election Commission. That is why I was hoping to see Mr. Gyanesh Kumar Gupta in that same frame
No,
as
but
Mr. Amit Shah
Gyanesh
arriving at
Kumar
the BJP
Gupta,
headquarters.
but Saral, okay, I'll get a response to that from the BJP representative to what you've just said. Manish Bariyar is also with us. But it is the same Gyanesh Kumar Gupta who's also conducted the assembly polls and the results today in Anta in Rajasthan. That is a seat that you won.
So that we have won despite Mr. Gyanesh Gupta. And the Anta, there is no SIR that has taken place. Please double check that. And I was just giving you the example of the 3 assembly constituencies I have
Okay,
given.
Manish Bariyar of the BJP, let's allow him now. Let's allow him. He's been waiting patiently. He's been waiting patiently. He's heard you out. Let's allow Manish Bariyar also to come in. Now, Manish Bariyar, on the women voter, the women are voting overwhelmingly in favor of the NDA. The women voters have risen as well in this election to record numbers. That perhaps is also led to your party's victory. A lot of women candidates as well, including Maithili Thakur, have won. Do you believe the Mahila vote has been very, very crucial for your party in this victory? And also you can respond to the charge that the Congress representative made, of course, on the transfer of money according to a scheme of yours and also SR.
Yeah, so my good friend Saril is actually speaking from a text sent to him on all those WhatsApp group. I would just like to remind him that if Election Commission had done anything, those 5 seats which you are looking at, even that would have been 0. Just let me explain to you what has happened at Chanpatia. Congress has won. It has got 86,904 votes and BJP lost with just 400 votes, 86,409. That's what has happened in one of the seats where Congress has won. Let me give you another seat where Congress has won, Valmiki Nagar. So 1,06,415 for Congress and 1,04,719, roughly 1,200 votes difference. Now, my good friend Saral has to understand that you just pick up, I don't blame him. The party picks up some very specific small examples and then they try to blame the entire commission. When, elections after elections, you are being humbled. The people of this country are shouting loud and clear, get your acts together. You're not. Someone is now, enjoying muscat. That's something every time it happens. That's not how you do politics. Politics is a serious business. It's about the development of this country, development of the people. You come up with issues which are highly negative issues, right from EVM to vote chori. Now, it's such a paradox. One, Mr. Tejaswi Yadav said 66 lakhs people more have voted in this election. On that count, 30,000 per, constituency, more have voted, and that's the vote for change. And when you lose badly, then you start all these kind of narratives. What kind of you decide your mind what has happened, right? On one hand, you blame SIR. On the other hand, the leader of the opposition, he was talking about congratulating in a way SIR that 66 lakh more people have voted. So, you will have to smell the coffee. You come up with issues that have no connection with the ground level karyakartas or the people
and the election is now
over.
over.
Just final point, Udayji, just final
Himanshu.
point, 15 seconds. Regarding women, it's such a condescending attitude when you talk about women that, okay, 10,000 rupees have gone to them and then they have voted. What about 20 years back? For 20 years, there was no such scheme for women as such as 10,000. How did they vote year after year, election after election? And by the way, this government has been doing things for the women since 2006. right from dress to poshak, and this Jivika Didi also.
Okay.
It's legal because this scheme
Okay,
has
so,
been going
Himanshu
on for
Dwivedi,
last 20 years.
and when it comes to the issue of vote chori, the Congress party has raised it earlier. They had a whole yatra on this issue in Bihar. Now the results are out. If that issue had resonated with the voter, there would have been a landslide. There would have been a landslide, Himanshu Dwivedi, Himanshu Bhatt in favor of them. Himanshu Bhatt, there would have been a landslide in favor of the Congress if the voters had believed them, if the voters had agreed with that issue, but there's been a landslide against them. Yet they do not relent with raising this issue. Himanshu, what's your take on that?
Let me give you, Uday, an example. That 20 years back, Nitish Kumar gave a bicycle to the girls. 20 years back. Now he's given 10,000 bucks. That young girl who went to school in his time has graduated out. This young girl standing on the street before the elections, when asked by people like me and you, what she said, I don't want to be locked up in my house after 4 o'clock in the jungle Raj. And that is why I will vote for a consistency. Nitish for 20 years has given me that safety. And people don't smell the coffee, they don't realize what they have done. They want to go to Oman and Muscat and sit there. They want to go to Colombia and form a strategy from Colombia for Bihar. That is what happens. I have got nothing political about it. Political Putumemis will take care of itself. But what is seen here, Uday, is, this SIR has very clearly made an impact on Indian elections and Indian democracy. You see, after 2024, every state election, one by one, when we were not expecting a tsunami, there was a tsunami in Maharashtra. And it happened in Bihar after that. Delhi, they lost. Haryana, they lost. They lost everything. It has come after that, just for another one small state, an exception. In such a scenario, a part-time politician, I'll call him a part-time politician. A part-time politician, when given 70 seats in a state like Bihar, that is 1/3, almost a 1/3, comes up with 5. What will his partner do? His partner may have a watch share, but then he becomes brash and says on the streets that, I will rule only this way. And people have very clearly said, no dynastic politics now. You see, Chirag Paswan is a different kettle of the fish on the head. Here, what we are having is something very, very different. People have rejected Maharashtra dynastic politics of Thakres. People have rejected Congress umpteen number of times. They have rejected Akhilesh for 2 elections straight. Just that exception of a Lok Sabha election. And here in Bihar, people have rejected this Yadavs. It is a very clear-cut mandate. The minds of the Indian voter is very clear. You go to Bihar, you go to Gujarat, you go to MP, everywhere you will find the same old thing.
All right, in fact, former MP and senior BJP leader GVL Narasimha Rao is also joining us now on the broadcast. GVL Narasimha Rao, congratulations to your party and, of course, your alliance on this landslide win today in Bihar. What do you attribute this to? What are the factors that have resulted in this pro-incumbency vote rather than an anti-incumbency vote, despite your government being in power for many years?
Yeah, thank you for having me. The biggest factor in this election is positive vote for the NDA, good governance and unprecedented development. I think people who have not been to Bihar may not be able to appreciate this, but anyone who lives in Bihar, even in the among the panel of experts that you have on the show, and those who have traveled to Bihar in the last few weeks, will see a sea change. 5 years ago, what Bihar was, and today, what is Bihar, you cannot even imagine. The unprecedented infrastructural development, so to say, roads, then electricity, water. I think these are areas which people have, their delivery has been far beyond expectations of the people. And that is one thing that has aroused a pride of being a Bihari. And a large number of migrants who actually travel to rest of the country, they today tell you very proudly that the development or the infrastructure in my district, in my village, is as good, if not better than what it is in the states where I migrate, in the so-called developed states. So that has been a game changer in my opinion. On top of that, delivery, good governance, a number of schemes, both of the central government and the state government. I think they have been, again, they have also had a major contribution to make. Prime Minister's, let's say, Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, where ration have been given to the people free of cost. For a state which has had low economic, which has had high poverty levels, this was certainly a very important factor which continued to swing the voters in the NDA's favor, in the BJP's favor. Then the Kisan Samman Nidhi for the farmers, and
Yes.
added to that, certainly the initiatives and schemes of the state government, Women's Rojgar Yojana, they have all contributed to some extent. But the real the real factor that has given this mandate is good governance, and people continue to live in the fear of Lalu ruled 20 years ago, and this is very strange. I haven't seen such a phenomenon any other part of the country. I've seen elections in at least maybe 70, 80, 100 elections I've seen. I have actually been a pollster, monitored elections very closely. This is an election where our own supporters, NDA supporters, turn spokespersons for the NDA. They themselves highlight what good governance has happened, what developments have happened. They will narrate it to you before you even ask
Earlier,
them.
since you said you're a pollster earlier, GVL Rao, the saying used to be, the adage used to be, the higher the voter turnout, the more the anti-incumbency. The higher the voting percentage, the more chances of the incumbent government getting voted out. But this time in Bihar, you saw record polling numbers. That has not been seen since independence. But yet, there was such an overwhelming mandate in favor of the incumbent government.
I think anyone who thinks a high voter turnout is a negative vote for the incumbent government, I think they haven't they haven't studied the phenomenon or the trends for a long time. High voter turnout only tells you, high voter turnout will give you some indication of the prevailing situation in the state. If there is complete positivity about the government, a higher turnout is likely to be a positive towards the government. If there were, for example, a higher turnout in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, did it reduce the number of seats for the BJP? No, we went up from 282 to 303. So a higher turnout does not necessarily mean a vote against the government. It depends what is the prevailing political undercurrent in the state in that election, the political landscape that exists in that election, that determines. Voter turnout only tells you the level of public interest, level of public enthusiasm about an election, whether that enthusiasm is to vote for the same government again or to vote against the government. That is something that you will have to figure out. I think in this case, there was all-round positivity. I was telling you how our confirmed supporters became our spokesperson.
Yes.
Even the opposition voters. It was difficult to find in this election confirmed supporters of the opposition to say anything very vastly negative against this government. Even they concede that development has happened in the last 5 years on an unprecedented scale.
The opposition is crying foul today. A Congress spokesperson on this debate and also in previous programs earlier in the day of mine have said that this is a victory because of the Election Commission. They are saying that this is a victory because of SIR being strategically done, and they are blaming the EC for their loss. Your response?
I think if they don't learn right lessons from this defeat, I think good luck to us actually, because Rahul Gandhi's so-called vote adhikar yatra or vote chori yatra acquired huge traction in the media and social media. And people thought Congress was going to become a very dominant force in Bihar,
Yes.
and it could give a huge strength to MGD. But
Yes,
look at the
GV
tally.
Rao, I'll just quickly, sorry, interject for a second, just to tell our viewers that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived at the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters. These are live pictures coming in from the BJP headquarters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached there. He is, of course, going to be addressing those jubilant supporters very, very shortly. Home Minister Amit Shah has already reached there a short while back, as is Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Look at that, showering of petals and, of course, streamers for Prime Minister. Euphoric welcome for the BJP's biggest star campaigner, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, at the party headquarters. It's a jubilant scene at the party headquarters this evening. It's like Diwali has come back once again for your party, GVL Rao. What a welcome being accorded to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He still remains your biggest star campaigner, don't you concede that? And also, interestingly, Bihar, along with, Himachal Pradesh, has the most amount of rural population in our country. So I think this result can also be interpreted कि rural Bharat के दिल में मोदी है. As BJP President JP Nadda also welcomes PM Modi with a bouquet of flowers. GVL Rao, you can answer that.
I think Prime Minister's popularity is unrivaled, undiminished. It's only growing by the year. Even in Lok Sabha elections, when we fell short of our own expectations, it's not because Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popularity has reduced, or I think he's been riding a huge wave of popularity, and primarily because of his delivery, his performance. It's not for any other extraneous factors. I think this has been the political journey of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. From the time he became Chief Minister of Gujarat, he would always say, it is my delivery, it is my performance that will win me next election, nothing else. And that trust in good performance, good delivery is what has given us so many electoral victories. And even in Bihar success, Prime Minister Modi's contribution, not only his campaigning, the manner in which central government has supported the developmental activities of the state in the past 5 years, and also the manner in which infrastructure development has taken huge leap in Bihar. I think it's all thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also his central government's unstinted support. And this is what people of Bihar want continued for the next 5 years. They don't want any kind of risk in that. And that is the reason behind this massive mandate. They don't want anything to come in the way. You see, if any vote that we give to the opposition could bring the Gunda Raj back, could bring the Jungle Raj back, could bring lawlessness back, and that will completely derail development that Bihar has set out, the path of development that Bihar has set out for itself, and that urge is responsible. That strong motivation is what led to high turnout, and that is what led to a huge victory for the NDA.
With that swirl of the muffler and the swirl of the gamcha, Prime Minister Modi, of course, accepting with humility all the applause, of course, that the BJP Karkartas are giving him there. Jubilant scenes coming in from the party headquarters. At the end of the day, also, GVL Narasimha Rao, do you believe that this election also is going to have a bearing on upcoming elections, including, of course, much watched ones like the one in West Bengal as well next year? That's an election which has also, that's a state which has also eluded your party for a while now. Do you believe this election win today and the landslide fashion with which it's happened is going to have bearing on the elections coming up next year in Assam, in West Bengal, and I think in Tamil Nadu and Kerala too?
You see, behind the NDA's success in this election, certainly apart from the Modi factor, apart from the Mahila factor, the Mehnat factor, the kind of hard work that BJP's top leadership puts in, I think you will have to see it to believe it. The kind of round the year activities, organizational activities that the BJP undertakes to strengthen its grassroots organization, to remain in connect with the people, to be accessible to them all through the year. This is certainly a major factor. And the next year's elections, the work has already begun. And post Bihar, certainly there will be a greater enthusiasm and greater energy into converting those electoral battles into a very successful battles. And certainly Bengal is a state where we have come a long way, a state where we did not exist 10 years ago, a state where left had a unstoppable reign for a quarter century. I think we have actually pushed both the left and the TMC to the margins. We emerged as the main opposition party in Bengal in the last elections. And come next May, we will certainly we will pull all guns, all horses in our command to get power in Bengal, because Bengal has to develop.
This MY, again you're a pollster, so I'll ask you this question, a former pollster rather. MY, पहले MY कहा जाता था Muslim Yadav. You know, the Samajwadi Party relied on it, the RJD also relied on it. It used to be a very important factor to win elections because of the caste coalition of these two communities. Now that is flipped. It has become Mahila and Yuva. Prime Minister Modi also says he doesn't want to see castes in the country, only wants to see, you know, the poor, the farmer, etc. Mahila Yuva has now overtaken Muslim Yadav, it seems, GVL Rao.
Yeah, because you see, when you talk of any Muslim Yadav or any other caste combinations, that actually is not a very healthy trend in a democracy. The Prime Minister's philosophy is that both in governance and also in our political strategy is to reach out to the most important segments of this country who need maximum support, whose support the BJP needs also to win elections, to give good governance. And this has really been, the Mahila vote has been a game changer in Bihar, in Maharashtra, in Madhya Pradesh, and in every other election. So I think increasingly, I think the women's vote is becoming a major winning factor for the BJP, and I think that's good news for the politics and the democracy.
All right, thank you very much, GVL Narasimha, for joining us with your perspective on this big story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now arrived there on the stage. Look at that. The crowd, of course, also now is doing that with him, accepting, of course, the twirling of the gamcha, the twirling of the muffler there by Prime Minister Modi. Is accepting the applause with humility, of course, sharing in the joy and jubilation of the BJP Karyakartas. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also present, Home Minister Amit Shah present there too, as is BJP President JP Nadda. We're going to expect BJP President JP Nadda to speak in a very, very short while from now, and that will be followed by PM Modi's address as well. Prime Minister Modi, of course, will be giving a victory message, but